Then I go to the Marine Corps. After I went out of service, I'm jumping over things now, and went to what's called boot camp.
Mm.
I went to the first black training camp of the United States Marine Corps in World War II.
Mm.
And where was that?
Montford Point Camp in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. Where in Montford Point was a camp inside the camp. Camp Lejeune was a major camp. So they had, the commissioned officers were white, Caucasian. And the blacks were in Montford Point. And we took training for 90 days and 90 nights. And that was a crucial time, I'm telling you. We had, each one had they divided us in platoons in training. And it would be 32 men. And they, after we'd been there about 3 days, we were wearing some, what you call fatigues, or just ordinary clothes, till we got our regular uniforms, and we were bareheaded. They cut our hair. The platoon, the 32 of us went to the barber, the 3 barbers. We went in there, and 15 minutes later, we were out. All of us had our hair cut. And I counted 60 seconds. So I counted 60 seconds from the time he started my hair till it ended. Clean, just like yours in there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Even more so.
Yeah.
And so we go out and stand in the ranks, and it started raining. We said, is it raining? We said, yes, sir. He said, you're alive. He said, why is it not raining? Because you said so, sir. And rain.
Yeah. Got you.
So 90 days. Sometimes we get in that barracks, and the drill instructor would come on and say, well, I'm going to give boys time to ride home at night and stuff, ride home and so. And it's about time we start riding. Here comes somebody in, now this is what you call a non-commissioned officer. Anybody from PFC on up to a sergeant major was a non-commissioned officer. So those fellas that were in charge of each platoon were like corporals, and their assistants were like PFCs. So if any one of them walked in the barracks, everybody got to jump down and stand at attention. Attention. We started riding this at attention. Get out. He stand up and said, boy, what is your name? He said, my name is Jordan Johnson. He said, no, what is it? He said, where are you from? He said, I'm from so. He said, you mean you from Waycross, Georgia? You just see it. It was funny when it wasn't nothing to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you stand up there and well, what you doing? What you laugh about?
Yeah.
You know, like that, they do that. Yeah. But all this, and they'd have a fire drill. You'd have to take your foot locker, rifle, you keep your rifle with you all the time. All the time. I looked at that rifle and you're supposed to kick it down like that. I'm thinking I'm going to get my thumb in there. Didn't get caught, you know what I mean? But all in all, they sent us to the rifle range, which was out in the Atlantic. And we stayed out there a week. And I did make sharpshooter. No, I didn't. I missed top sharpshooter by 2 points.
You made sharpshooter, forget that. All right, keep going.
Yeah, I missed it by 2 points.
Yeah.
Because they had an old rifle that had been in service before. Some other guys had new rifles and I had an old one and couldn't get rid of it. Bottom line is, at the end of 90 days, the drill instructor called, one day, he would call give you orders to do certain things with the armed rifle. You know, right shoulder arm, left shoulder arm, present arm, order arm, rear face and right face, rear march, you know. You have to do all those things individually. And every time one of you are making a mistake, you have to drop out of the ranks. And they did 31 men, and I was the last one there. He couldn't trick me for nothing. And so when we got through boot camp, they took a vote of the whole platoon, and I was voted the honor man of the platoon. Yeah, I thought that was great. And I did get a stripe for it. First stripe I got like that. And so then I'm thinking about, I'm going to go overseas, you know what I mean? I wasn't anxious to go. But they sent me to the recruit headquarters because I could type. And so the reason they found out about I could type was one of the fellows who was in the classification section where they give you the IQ tests had been a school teacher to my aunt in Pittsburgh, Texas. And so he knew I could type because she gave me the first typewriter I ever had. That was back, you know, when I was in college. When I started the college, and I had known him ever since. He was older fellas than I. So he told them around, no, when we took the classification test, you had to do whatever extra thing that you knew how to do, or demonstrate you knew how to do, or take an exam on that. And they gave me a typing test. And before I went in there, I had been able to type over 100 words a minute in Washington, D.C. And with the handling the rifle every day and night, I still could type over 65 words a minute. And so the word got around. So Sergeant Major said, he was calling around and said, well, we have Beal over here. But they couldn't do it. They had already been transferred to Marine Corps headquarters. And that's where I took my orders from. So I went over there where they gave the classification tests. And I would do the typing. I qualified for officer candidate school, but the officer said, well, we can't afford to lose you. It's just cold, you know what I mean? But I wasn't anxious about the end of the war anyway. So I said, well, next thing, I'm going to volunteer for going to be a discharge. I didn't want to be in there anymore.
So the typing kept you from going to combat?
Well, so to speak, yes. Yes, so to speak. Because otherwise, nobody would have paid attention to it. You can go if you want to. Because I scored high enough to qualify to go. That's what I was saying. So, yes, that's true. And so, anyway, I went in the classification section for a while. I don't know how long. And so things got kind of quiet. And the adjutant down at the camp headquarters we were in was a warrant officer. That was kind of lowest rank of a commissioned officer. They needed a chief clerk down there. So they put me, the officer in charge where I was loaning me to them. And so I wound up being the chief clerk of camp headquarters. Also, they gave me to be the barracks sergeant, which meant that we had a barracks compiled of about 50 men, and I was in charge of the barracks, too, at the same time. You know, so I was responsible for having the barracks clean every day. Not do it, have it done. See to it that when they come around for inspection, they might come out a day, they might not come back for another week. They even like throw a quarter on the bed, see if it bounced, to see if it was good. So anyway, I was called roll every morning, regularly, 6 o'clock in the morning, I called roll. And not in the evening, you know, in regular. And that kind of duty I had for being a barracks sergeant. And I would assign some guys, 2 different guys, every week to be responsible for seeing to it that it was clean. You know what I mean? And so I stepped on the end of, well, 5 of us stepped on the end of the barracks. And that went on till I left the camp. So at any rate...
and one last question I had is kind of off topic. If you could say anything to the new generation of, you know, the new millennial generation as they're called, what would you say to them?
Well, I would say, whatever you choose to do in life, to follow in life, whatever it is, if it's worthwhile. I ain't talking about being slick.
Yeah.
Do the best that you can, because you never know how pertinent that might be. I tell the young fellas at the church, you don't
Excuse me. Quiet down now.
Do not go around. This is a young fella who's probably 18 or 19 now. He's a junior superintendent of Sunday school. But one day he came in there with pants and a jacket, and they wasn't baggy, you know, but they were kind of ragged, and he had good clothes. So I told him one day, I said, look here, man, you in charge in front. You know what I mean? Now, you're not sitting out here in the audience. People criticize you if you don't look the part. You may not realize it, you know what I mean, but they do. And so since that time, he's done better. I must say, you don't come here with a bow tie and a collar and all that tux and stuff. Just be clean and be neat with whatever you have on that looks presentable. And that goes for more than dress. Your attitude, you know, what you say and how you approach spoken and how you respond to their questions. Those are some key things and get you further. Also, remember, somebody else might want the same job that you're trying to get. And so you don't have to be trying to belittle them, just try to do better than they do. And whatever response that you have, it'll work better for you if you tell the truth. That's the first thing you want to do, always tell the truth. That's for anything. And I tell anybody that. Yeah, don't tell me a lie. Just don't say anything if you can say. So that's right. So you have to be complimentary to the people that are interviewing you. You have to tell them that's a pretty tie you got on. You don't need to tell them that. You just acknowledge the fact that the way they look and assume that you need to look in a similar manner. Yeah. So I don't know if anything more worthwhile. If you do that in your earlier life, it'll be a habit when you get long.